I'm so proud of Otto, my son, who has been in a pariah regime for the last 18 months, brutalized and terrorized, and he's now home with his family. What did I say to my son? I knelt down by his side and I hugged him, and I told him I missed him and I was so glad that he made it home. My wife Cindy is at Otto's side this morning, as she has been since the moment he returned to Ohio. She wanted me to tell you that she knows that Otto is a fighter, and she and I firmly believe that he fought to stay alive through the worst that the North Koreans could put him through.
Today at the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, Otto is in stable condition but has suffered a severe neurological injury.
Last evening, we received a very nice phone call from President Trump, who told us that Secretary of State Tillerson worked hard to help bring Otto home. We went for 15 months without a word from or about Otto. It was only a week ago that we were informed that the North Korean government now claims he was in a coma for almost all of that time. There is no excuse for any civilized nation to have kept his conditions secret and denied him top-notch medical care for so long. And we're thrilled that our son is on American soil. We're in the school that he thrived in, and I'm able to talk to you on Otto's behalf, and I'm able to wear the jacket that he wore when he gave his confession. I'm not confessing, I'm speaking, but Otto, I love you and I'm so crazy about you, and I'm so glad you're home.
Warmbier, American student released from North Korea, dies. Otto F. Warmbier, the University of Virginia honors student who was released from a North Korean prison last week after spending 17 months in captivity and more than a year, died on Monday at the Cincinnati hospital where he had been receiving treatment, his family said. Mr. Warmbier's parents, Fred and Cindy, said in a statement that their son, 22, had completed his journey home and was at peace when he died on Monday at 2:20 p.m. When Otto returned to Cincinnati late on June 13th, he was unable to speak, unable to see, and unable to react to verbal commands, the couple wrote. He looked very uncomfortable, almost we would never hear his voice again. Within a day, the countenance of his face changed. He was at peace. He was home, and we believe he could sense that. The death was the end of a wrenching ordeal for the Warmbier family, and is likely to worsen the already tense relations between the United States and North Korea, which technically remained in a state of war dating to the armistice that halted the 1950s. President Trump issued a terse statement condemning North Korea, which is still holding 3 Americans hostage. Otto's fate deepens my administration's determination to prevent such tragedies from befalling innocent people at the hands of regimes that do not respect the rule of law or basic human decency, the statement said. The United States once again condemns the brutality of the North Korean regime as we mourn. Former Gov. Bill Richardson of New Mexico, an expert on North Korea who has helped free other Americans held there, said in an interview on Monday that he had met with North Korean diplomats 20 times while Mr. Warmbier was being held, and that they had never hinted that anything with Warmbier's health. Mr. Richardson called on the North to release the 3 other Americans it is holding, as well as a Canadian hostage, and to disclose what happened to Otto fully to the international community. Mr. Warmbier, a one-time high school soccer player and homecoming king with an adventuresome spirit, was traveling in China in December 2015 when he signed up for a 5-day tour of North Korea with a Chinese company that advertised budget travel to destinations your mother would rather away from. The company, Young Pioneer Tours, said Tuesday that it would no longer take Americans to North Korea because the assessment of risk was too high. Mr. Warmbier was detained at the Pyongyang airport in early January 2016, charged with a hostile act against the country's authoritarian government and convicted less than 2 months later of trying to steal a propaganda poster after he delivered a tearful television. His trial lasted 1 hour. His parents, who live in the tiny city of Wyoming, Ohio, just outside Cincinnati, had heard nothing of him since his trial. Then, about 2 weeks ago, they received a call telling them their son was home. Days later, he was on a flight home. At a news conference on Thursday morning, Fred Warmbier, wearing the same cream-colored jacket Otto had worn during his trial, recalled kneeling to hug his son when he finally arrived home late last year. "Otto is a fighter," Mr. Warmbier said then, adding that he and his wife firmly believe that he fought to stay alive through the worst that the North Koreans could put him through. Otto Warmbier was taken immediately to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, where doctors said that 2 MRI scans sent by the North Koreans indicated that Mr. Warmbier had sustained a catastrophic brain injury shortly after his conviction, most likely before April 20. The doctors said he had extensive loss of brain tissue in all regions of his brain, most likely caused by cardiopulmonary arrest that cut off the blood supply to his brain. But the doctors could not say what had caused the initial injury. While one senior American official said Mr. Warmbier had been singled out for particularly brutal beatings, doctors found no evidence of broken bones or other injuries consistent with physical abuse. The North Koreans blamed a combination of botulism and sleeping pills for Mr. Warmbier's condition, but the doctors found no relations between the United States and the North have fallen to new lows in recent months over threats by North Korea's young leader, Kim Jong-un, to attack the United States with nuclear weapons. Mr. Warmbier was one of more than a dozen Americans imprisoned in North Korea over the years, some for as long as 2 years, on accusations including illegal entry and but he is the first to have been sent home in a coma. In their statement on Monday, the Warmbiers said that they, like their son, were at peace and at home, even as they lashed out at North Korea. Unfortunately, the statement said, the awful, torturous mistreatment our son received at the hands of the North Koreans ensured that no other outcome was possible beyond the sad one we experienced today.